Jason Garrett after the Cowboys lost to the Pats in New England. Dallas is still on top of the NFC East at 6-5. Damian Woody back here with us. Stephen A.
Yeah.
What would a win today mean for Jason Garrett's future in Dallas?
Depends on how it goes down. Obviously, I think if he loses, he gets fired. But I got news for you. If the Dallas Cowboys win, they step up, rise to the occasion, and like they are incredibly, incredibly impressive. I think that's bad, and it's an indictment against Jason Garrett. Why the hell couldn't you do this before? Why is it that your job is on the line and suddenly there's an elevated level of urgency? Excuse me, all this damn money I paid? I got an offensive line I took care of. I got Ezekiel Elliott I took care of. I got Dak Prescott in the news every week. They talking about he want 35 to 40 million a year. We got the number one offense in yards. We got the number one passing attack. I said, I got Amari Cooper, who's the number one receiver. I said, I got these cats, the Jalen Smiths of the world, the Leighton Vander Esch's of the world. Even though he didn't play last week, Sean Lee is still in this lineup. I got Marinelli. I got Rashad anchoring the defense, etc. We got first-class facilities. We're America's team. We're the brand and all of this other stuff. And we losing. We lost to New Orleans without Drew Brees. We lost to the Green Bay Packers. We lost to the New York Jets. We lost at home to the Minnesota Vikings, okay? And then now we lost to the New England Patriots. And once I start barking and chirping about how your job might be on the line, suddenly you play? I'm paying you to do this every damn week, not just when I got your behind on the line. Damn that. You don't win, you win this game in impressive fashion. I'm talking about an impressive, like we see things from them that we haven't seen, that we should have seen before. I'm Jerry Jones. I'm like, oh, so it's like that. So I got to threaten your job in order for y'all to do what the hell you're supposed to do. If we're able to look at this team and directly, Max, point to coaching as the reason they won, I'm not just talking about regular win. I'm talking about looking at a team and going like this, schematically. Game plan, the kind of things you're supposed to be doing.
Play calling, late
the play calling. Yeah. If I see that today, and you the reason, Jason Garrett, that this is improved, I'm asking, where the hell have you been the last 3 months? The last 3 years? 5 years? 8 years? Get out. I'm telling you right now, that would be my attitude.
There's only one thing that's going to save Jason Garrett's job for sure. That's winning the Super Bowl. Getting to the Super Bowl maybe saves his job, but maybe not. Nothing short of winning a Super Bowl is going to save his job, because think about it. We all agree it's a Super Bowl talented roster, at least for me, 1 through 22, as I keep saying. Like, I don't know about through 53. There are some teams I like depth better, the Colts, the Saints. But 1 through 22, I think that's the best, maybe arguably the best roster in football. So if they, let's say, get to the NFC Championship game, which I don't think they will, but let's say they do and they come up short, the feeling is going to be we need a coach to take us over the top. Even if you make it to the Super Bowl and come up short, boy, it better be because a guy missed a field goal, but there were no problems, in terms of the play calling late, clock management, nothing like that. And they better be in the game. I think he needs to win the Super Bowl. Win the Super Bowl to save his job. I don't think this game means anything without that.
I don't think win or lose. I don't think it changes the status of where we think Jason Garrett is right now. I think that the Dallas Cowboys need to make a deep run. There are no more excuses. He is a lame duck coach. He doesn't have a contract after this year. And that right there in and of itself, Jerry Jones is telling you, it's Super Bowl or bust for you.
Yeah.
Period. You win against the Buffalo Bills? Great. Good. That's what you're supposed to do. Okay? We have a roster that we should do that. You lose, more pressure is applied to you moving forward. Winning the NFC East? What is that?
Yeah, the NFC East is terrible.
It's gone. Like
someone's got to.
You sputtering.
Someone's got to win.
With this, wait a minute.
Giants, Redskins,
with this
Philly,
roster, you literally sputtering to the finish line in the sorry NFC East. Do you know how pathetic that is?
Listen, I'm just saying this, man. We can point the finger at Jerry Jones all we want to, and I'm not saying he doesn't deserve it. Please don't get me wrong, under normal circumstances. Yeah. But at some point in time, it's about the day-to-day responsibilities. You're in the throes of this season. We all knew Jason Garrett was the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys this season when you picked him to go to the Super Bowl. We knew that Jerry Jones, we knew his history. We knew how much Jerry Jones loved him, how Jerry Jones should have got rid of him before. We had questions about him in terms of his ability to galvanize the team. All of these questions we had about Dallas coming in. Most people still picked them to win the NFC East. Most people still picked them to be a Super Bowl contender. And people like yourself and others picked them to go to the Super Bowl knowing Jason Garrett was their coach and knowing what mistakes he had made in the past. So all I'm saying is, by virtue of that reality, this is on him. And Thanksgiving Day, the week when Jerry Jones is louder than he's ever been, calling out his coach, if you show up and we're able to directly point to your coaching,
I have a question
then I'm wondering what the hell you've been doing.
It's even worse than that. I think about coaches. Remember I said, even if they make a run, they come up short. The feeling's going to be, we need someone to take us over the top. I think about coaches in different sports where that's been the case. Buck Showalter with the Yankees in the mid-'90s. He got them to the playoffs. They showed that they were good, but they brought in Joe Torre to take them over the top. Mark Jackson with the Warriors. He developed the guys. They made the playoffs, but they brought in Steve Kerr to take them over the top. Well, I don't know about that. I think that's a good one.
I'm just saying.
The thing with Showalter and with Mark Jackson is their coaching was a big reason that the guys developed in the first place. They coached them up and developed them.
Yep.
You look at the Cowboys roster, Jason Garrett's not getting credit for that. The Cowboys draft really well. That's on Jerry and Stephen Jones. So, like, Jerry's got to be sitting there being like, wait a minute. Jason Garrett's not the dude doing the drafting.
Yeah.
We are. We're hitting on our first-round picks. We're hitting on our later picks. And he can't do anything with them.
Can I ask a question, though, because this is where I'm very confused. Why now? We've been saying this for years. Stephen A., you said since 2013 they should have got. Why, after they go into New England, a team where everyone loses, is Jerry finally putting his foot down? That's what I'm confused with the timing.
Because I think that what happened is that Jerry Jones is looking at the money that he has spent combined with looking at this roster, and he's more confident in what he has assembled this year, more so than he may have ever been. And on top of it all, you had Ezekiel Elliott hold out for money, and then he got it before the season began. Then you've got folks talking about Dak, and to a lesser degree talking about Amari. So he's like, wait a minute, clearly people out there recognizes the talent that you have, so much so that they're in my face talking about how I'm supposed to pay you. And here we have, from top to bottom, especially coming off of last year, what the potential for us is, and out of nowhere, we're dipping while San Francisco is elevating. Green Bay is back relevant. The Minnesota Vikings can't be counted out. And we can't dismiss New Orleans.
And that's one, because the question is like, why now?
Why now?
I think that's part of it. You're seeing the cream start to rise. You beat the Giants, so what? Washington, so what? Miami, so what? Then you lose to the Saints. Then you lose to the Packers. You lose to the Jets. That should have never happened, right? You beat the Eagles. The truth is, so what this year? You beat the Giants, so what? You lose to the Vikings. You beat the Lions without their starting quarterback. You lose to the Pats. Now you're playing the Bills. In other words, oh wait, we're starting to play good teams. We beat the bad teams. We're supposed to do that. We're not doing what we're supposed to do, which is beat the good teams. We're losing to the good teams, and we're losing close games.
Yep.
They're not getting beat up.
Did you just say the Lions were a good team?
No. Okay. Without their starting quarterback.
I'm gonna say this. Football is a fickle sport, and I'm not the type of person that's going to write anybody off, because I remember, I know you two guys will remember, I remember back in 2011, I think it was the 7-7 Giants played against the Jets, and that Victor Cruz long touchdown pass against the Jets sparked them, and this happened week 16. Sparked their Super Bowl run.
Big difference, though. You're talking about 11, right?
2011.
A lot of those same players, same quarterback, same coach, had won the Super Bowl a couple years before, 4 years before. But that's not this Cowboys team.
But they can still win the NFC East, get to the playoffs, and get lucky and make a run. He also picked them, Damian. So let's not pretend there's not an agenda here.
I'll pick. I'm listening.
Of your convictions.
I'm not.
I know
Listen,
what you're doing. You're just throwing out that angle.
I'm going to ride it until the ship crash and burn.
Until the wheels fall off.
Until the wheels fall off. That's what I'm going to do.
Later today.
By the way, as an aside,
Yes.
has nothing to do with the subject at hand, but it is Thanksgiving Day, and there is a game that comes on before the Dallas Cowboys. I'm looking at the Detroit Lions, who have not won a playoff game since 1991.
Yeah.
And they've only been to the playoffs like 3, 6, 7,
I graduated
8
high
times.
school in 91.
Let me say this. The NFL, get the Detroit Lions the hell off of Thanksgiving football.
Yep.
Let me just
They
say
don't
one thing to
deserve it.
defend them,
Right.
though.
Get
Matthew
rid of
Stafford has been injured.
Yes.
Kerryon Johnson has been injured.
Yep.
Matt Patricia was doing some things with that
He
team. They were
was.
coming along that defense.
Molly,
but I
they
get
were
what you're
good.
saying.
I brought up since
Molly, they
1991.
were good. They were good this year.
That's what I did.
They were good this year.
I don't know what Molly talked about. I brought up since 1991.
But there's
I didn't
no
mention
denying
nothing
that.
about
But
this.
this season, they were pretty good.
Okay.
Well, Molly, 27 years they haven't won a playoff game.
Get them the
27
hell
years.
I just
off
am
of-
trying to show Detroit a little
No,
love. They were doing
no,
good things.
Molly, you
No.
out here caping for the Lions,
That's
huh?
right. I wonder why.
That's a good woman.
Get them
That's a
off
good
the
woman. That's her
What do you
husband's
want
team.
from me?
Get them off
All
of
right.
national television on
Kyler Murray
Thanksgiving
and
Day.
Jared Goff.
Enough.
Family thing. It's a family
Get
thing.
'em out of here.
Are ranked above Tom Brady on the list of